Someone is panicking, everyone knows they're a liar. When the truth walks into the room, lies begin to tremble. You see, a liar can talk loud, act confident, and pretend they're untouchable. But when the weight of truth presses down, their mask begins to crack. Suddenly, the one who once looked so bold starts to panic. Their voice shakes, their stories don't line up, and their desperation spills out for everyone to see. Panic is the sound of guilt breaking through the surface. It's the proof that no lie is strong enough to outlast the power of truth. And when that moment comes, everyone watching knows it was all a performance, and the curtain has finally fallen. Truth always outs itself. The truth is a force that cannot be buried, no matter how hard someone tries to cover it up. A lie may buy time, but it cannot buy peace. It may silence a few voices for a moment, but it cannot silence the voice of justice forever. That's why liars always panic. Deep down they know that truth is patient but unrelenting, silent but unstoppable. You can dress a lie up in confidence, you can wrap it in sweet words, and you can polish it with charm, but eventually the cracks will show, and when the cracks show, the panic begins. People who live in truth don't need to run, don't need to scramble, and don't need to defend themselves every second of the day. Their foundation is steady, their voice is calm, and their conscience is clear. But the liar? They live in a house of cards. Every false word they speak stacks one shaky card on top of another, and eventually, it all comes crashing down. That's why, when the winds of truth begin to blow, their fear is exposed for all to see. The panic is not random. It's the natural reaction of someone watching their false world collapse. Think about it. When someone is telling the truth, their story never changes. It doesn't need to. Truth is consistent. It stands firm no matter how many times it's questioned, because it is grounded in reality. But when someone is lying, they have to memorize, adjust, and rehearse. And the moment the pressure comes, the panic sets in, because they can't keep their story straight. They slip, they stumble, and they start to unravel. That's when everyone watching begins to see the truth for themselves, not because it was shouted, but because the lie could no longer hold. The panic of a liar is like smoke rising from a fire. You don't always see the flames at first, but the smoke gives it away. People can pretend all they want, but their energy exposes them. They start to sweat, to avoid, to accuse others, to point fingers. That's not strength, it's weakness. That's not confidence, it's fear. And when people see that fear, when they hear the panic in the liar's voice, they know the truth is caught up, the performance is over. The beautiful thing about truth is that it doesn't require you to fight for it with the same desperation as a liar fights to defend their lie. Truth carries its own power. It may take time, but it doesn't lose strength with time. It gains it. Lies, on the other hand, decay. They weaken the person carrying them. They eat away at their peace of mind, their relationships, their credibility, and eventually they eat away at their reputation until nothing is left but panic and exposure. That is why someone who has lived in lies for too long can never stand still when truth begins to rise. Their panic becomes their downfall. Some of you have seen this play out in your own life. You didn't have to lift a finger to expose someone. You just had to keep standing in truth. They panicked all by themselves. Their lies revealed themselves. Their masks slipped without you forcing it off. That's the power of truth. It needs no permission to rise, no army to defend it, no performance to convince anyone. Truth stands on its own leg, and the moment truth steps forward, the liar stumbles backward. There is a peace that comes from knowing you're standing in truth. Even when people attack you, even when they try to discredit you, even when they spread false stories about you, stand firm. Don't let their panic become your panic. Because here's the reality, their panic is proof that the truth is catching up. If they were standing in truth themselves, they wouldn't be flailing, they wouldn't be shouting, and they wouldn't be afraid. Truth is steady, lies are shaky. One will anchor you, the other will drown you. Every liar believes for a moment that they are safe. They believe no one will find out, that their deception is airtight, that they can outsmart everyone around them. But life has a way of proving otherwise. Secrets leak. Shadows get exposed to light. What's whispered in the dark eventually gets spoken in the open. And when that happens, panic takes over. They scramble to cover themselves, but it's too late. Everyone is watching. Everyone is listening. And everyone knows the truth has finally walked into the room. And let me tell you this, when the truth arrives, you don't have to defend it with noise. Just let it speak. Stand still and let their panic reveal everything you don't even have to say. Sometimes silence is your greatest weapon, because the liar will defeat themselves with their own unraveling. The more they panic, the more they expose themselves. The more they speak, the more contradictions come out. The more they scramble, the more obvious it becomes that their house of lies is collapsing in front of everyone's eyes. The truth will always outlast the lie, always. History proves it, life proves it, and your own experiences prove it. People may get away with lies for a season, but no one gets away forever. That's why you must never lower yourself to fight a liar on their terms. Don't waste your breath matching their panic. Don't let their chaos pull you into confusion. The truth is on your side, and sooner or later that truth will do the talking. Let them panic, let them scramble, because panic is the sound of their defeat, and truth is the proof of your victory. So when you see someone panicking, don't be fooled by the noise. Look deeper. Ask yourself, why are they so restless if they stand in truth? Why are they so desperate if they have nothing to hide? Why are they pointing fingers if their hands are clean? Panic is not confidence. Panic is not strength. Panic is a confession in disguise. And when you see it, you'll know you're watching a liar come undone. The lesson is simple but powerful. Stand in truth and let it fight for you. Lies demand panic, but truth provides peace. Lies demand constant defense, but truth defends itself. Lies crumble under pressure, but truth grows stronger under fire. If you stand in truth, you will not have to panic. But if you stand in lies, panic will find you, no matter how strong you pretend to be. And when that panic comes, the world will see the liar for who they truly are. Panic is the voice of guilt. Guilt has a sound, it has a rhythm, it has a voice that no amount of acting can silence. And that voice is panic. You can dress guilt up in arrogance, you can cover it with a smile, you can even try to drown it out with loud words. But when the truth comes too close, guilt speaks louder than anything else. That is why when someone begins to panic, when their calm turns into chaos, when their steady words turn into stammering explanations, everyone watching knows guilt has spoken. The panic you see is not random emotion. It's the echo of a conscience that can't hide anymore. The calmest person in the room is always the one standing in truth. They don't have to rush. They don't have to over-explain. They don't have to point fingers at everyone else. Their peace comes from knowing they have nothing to hide. But the guilty, their peace is gone the moment they open their mouths. Their panic betrays them. It exposes the fear that the truth is only seconds away from breaking through. That's why they talk fast. That's why they interrupt. That's why they avoid eye contact. The panic of guilt is stronger than any words they can speak. Think about the way guilt works. It doesn't just sit quietly in the background. It stirs, it scratches, it gnaws at the heart. And the heavier it becomes, the harder it is to carry. That's why guilty people don't just panic when they're caught. They panic even before they're caught. They see shadows that aren't there. They imagine questions that no one asked, and they create excuses before anyone accuses. And panic is the natural outpouring of guilt that cannot be silenced. It is guilt screaming, "I know I'm not clean." Watch a liar when truth starts closing in. They can't keep still. Their tone shifts, their story grows longer and more dramatic. Their eyes dart around, searching for an escape. That's guilt in action. It's panic, announcing what their words refuse to admit, and the more they try to hide it, the louder the panic becomes. Because guilt cannot be buried forever. You can try to lock it up, but it leaks through your voice, your face, your movements. Panic is guilt's language, and the world learns to read it without being told. Here's the truth. Panic is a confession without words. You don't need to catch every detail of the lie. Just look at how the liar carries themselves. When pressure comes, they panic because their soul is heavy. They panic because they know they're living on borrowed time. They panic because they sense the walls are closing in, and guilt won't let them breathe easy anymore. Panic is not random. It is the echo of guilt crying out for release. But here's where wisdom comes in. Don't let their panic drag you into their storm. Guilty people will project their panic onto you. They'll accuse you of things you didn't do. They'll try to make you look like the unstable one. They'll spin the story so that their panic becomes your problem. But you must stand firm. Don't absorb their chaos. Don't take on their guilt. Let them wear their own panic while you stay anchored in truth. Remember, panic is the voice of guilt, not the voice of innocence. Don't mistake the noise for truth. And notice this too. Guilt doesn't panic in whispers. It panics in screams. That's why liars get louder the closer the truth gets. They exaggerate, they lash out, they overcompensate with dramatic gestures and emotional outbursts. But all that noise is just guilt trying to drown out the silence of truth. Calm doesn't need volume. Calm doesn't need theatrics. But guilt? Guilt will shout. Guilt will panic. Guilt will flail. Because it knows its time is short. You see, panic is the guilty heart's last line of defense. When lies are no longer working, when excuses have run dry, panic steps in. It tries to create confusion, to distract, to intimidate, to buy time. But instead of saving the liar, panic exposes them. It shows the world what's really going on beneath the surface. It says what their lips refuse to say. I am guilty, and I'm afraid of being found out. The difference between guilt and innocence can be seen in the way people handle pressure. An innocent person can be questioned for hours and still stay steady. Their answers remain the same. Their spirit remains calm. They don't fear being exposed because there's nothing to expose. But a guilty person? The moment the questions begin, panic takes over. Their story changes. Their face gives them away. Their voice cracks under the weight of guilt. Pressure exposes what peace conceals, and guilt cannot survive under pressure. Pressure affects the physical, health, emotions. So the next time you see someone panicking, don't rush to believe their words. Watch their behavior. Listen to the voice of guilt. It's louder than their excuses. Look at their restlessness, their defensiveness, their desperation. That is guilt on display. And while they may fool some people for a time, eventually everyone begins to see it. Panic tells the truth louder than lies ever could. But here's the encouragement for you. When you are in the truth, you never need to panic. Even if people spread rumors about you, even if liars try to twist your name, even if you're surrounded by those trying to tear you down, stay calm. Let their panic reveal them, and let your peace reveal you. The voice of guilt cannot silence the voice of truth, and the panic of the guilty will eventually become their undoing. Guilt makes people restless, but truth makes people strong. Guilt steals sleep, but truth brings peace. Guilt shouts in panic, but truth speaks in quiet confidence. And in the end, guilt destroys itself. The guilty will always panic, and in that panic they will expose the very thing they tried so hard to hide. That is why someone is panicking, and everyone knows they're a liar. The power of stillness in truth. There is a strength that cannot be faked, a calmness that cannot be imitated, a peace that cannot be copied. That strength, that calmness, that peace belongs to those who stand in truth. While liars scramble, while they panic, while they twist their words in desperation, those who walk in truth remain still, not because they are weak, not because they are silent, but because they know the truth does not need noise to win. The power of truth is revealed not in shouting matches, not in frantic explanations, but in the stillness of someone who knows, I have nothing to hide. Stillness is a weapon, it is a shield, it is a declaration of strength, without you ever raising your voice. When you stand still in the middle of chaos, you send a message louder than words. I am not shaken. People panic when they feel exposed. People panic when they're trapped in lies. But when you are rooted in truth, you don't need to flinch. You don't need to defend every attack. You don't need to chase every rumor. Your stillness becomes your testimony, and it rattles liars more than any argument ever could. Watch how this plays out in life. A liar is always restless. They rush to explain themselves, even when no one asked. They go out of their way to convince everyone of their innocence. They scramble to cover holes in their story. But a person who carries truth, they don't chase validation. They don't waste energy trying to prove what is already real. They simply stand, they stay still, because the truth speaks for them in ways words cannot. The world often mistakes stillness for weakness. People think if you're not fighting back, you've lost. But that's not true. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is no move at all. When you refuse to panic, you expose the ones who do. When you remain steady, their instability is magnified. When you stand still, their noise becomes the evidence against them. That is the power of stillness in truth. It forces the lie to reveal itself without you ever lifting a hand. Think about water. A calm river reflects everything clearly. But when water is stirred, when it's shaken, you can't see anything but distortion. Lies are like stirred water, clouded, unclear, unstable. Truth, however, is like calm water, still, steady, and reflective. When you remain still in truth, people will see the clarity of who you are. They'll see through the fog of lies. They'll recognize that peace belongs to the one who has nothing to fear. Stillness is not silence born of weakness. It is confidence born of truth. A liar yells because they're afraid. They panic because their mask is slipping. But someone in truth doesn't need to panic, doesn't need to yell, doesn't need to scramble. Their stillness is enough to expose the contrast. The louder the liar gets, the more people notice the calmness of the one who doesn't flinch. And in that calmness, truth begins to shine brighter than any noise ever could. You've seen this in your own life. Someone lied about you, tried to twist your story, tried to drag your name, and maybe people expected you to lash out, to fight, to scream back. But instead, you stayed still. You let time, consistency, and truth do the talking. And what happened? Their panic revealed them. Their lies collapsed under their own weight. Because stillness in truth is not passive. It's powerful. It's saying, I refuse to waste my energy on shadows. I will let the light prove me right. Here's the beauty of stillness. It draws people's attention. In a noisy world, calmness stands out. In a world full of chaos, peace is magnetic. People will begin to notice the difference. They'll ask themselves, why is this person so calm when everyone else is panicking? Why aren't they defending themselves like the others? What do they know that I don't? And in that moment, your stillness becomes your strength. It testifies louder than words. Stillness is also a test of faith. It shows whether you truly believe truth can defend itself, because liars live as though everything depends on them keeping the story alive. But truth doesn't need your desperation. Truth doesn't need your panic. Truth doesn't need you to rush. Truth simply needs you to stand. Stillness says, I trust the truth to reveal itself. I don't need to fight dirty. I don't need to waste my breath. I will remain calm, because I know truth always wins. The powerful thing about stillness is that it cannot be faked. You cannot manufacture peace when you're guilty. Panic will always slip through. Fear will always leak out. But when you are truly in the truth, your stillness is authentic, unshakable, and undeniable. And that's what rattles the liar most. They look at your calmness and it eats them alive because they know they cannot mimic it. They know, no matter how hard they try, their panic betrays them. So the next time you find yourself surrounded by lies, don't rush to fight every rumor. Don't exhaust yourself chasing every whisper. Don't let their panic drag you into panic. Instead, stand still. Keep your peace. Let your consistency be the proof. Let your calmness be the evidence. The truth will rise, and when it does, the world will look back and say, we saw the difference. One panicked, one stood still, one lied, one walked in truth. But the power of stillness is not in doing nothing. It's in trusting everything. It's trusting that lies can't outrun truth. It's trusting that time will expose deception. It's trusting that your peace is more powerful than their panic. And when you stand still, when you remain calm, you send a message that shakes liars to their core. I am not afraid because I am standing in truth. So remember this: stillness is strength. Stillness is wisdom. Stillness is victory. Let them panic, let them scramble, let them drown in the noise of their guilt. You don't need to join them. You don't need to fight their way. Stay still, stay calm, stay anchored in truth. Because the power of stillness is this: it exposes panic for what it is, it magnifies lies for what they are, and it proves without question the one who stands still is the one who walks in truth. Don't be distracted by their drama. Liars don't just lie, they perform. They put on a show, a loud, messy, chaotic show designed to keep you from noticing the cracks in their story. When the truth starts closing in, they throw up smoke screens, they point fingers, they play the victim, they stir up noise and drama, hoping you'll get so distracted by the chaos that you'll forget to notice their guilt. But here's the truth: their drama is not strength, it's not power, it's desperation. And you must learn to see through it, because if you get caught in their performance, you'll miss the fact that their panic is already exposing them. The drama of a liar is always exaggerated. Notice how they overreact to simple questions. Notice how they turn small issues into big storms. Notice how they attack others instead of answering directly. That's not confidence, it's deflection. They can't stand still in truth, so they create drama to pull attention away from themselves. And if you're not careful, you'll get pulled into their storm, wasting your energy fighting shadows instead of standing firm in the light of truth. This is why you cannot let yourself be distracted. Their panic will come dressed as passion, their noise will come dressed as righteousness. But don't be fooled. When someone is truly innocent, they don't need theatrics to prove it. They don't need a performance. They don't need to put everyone else down just to look clean themselves. Truth is steady, but lies are restless. And when the liar starts panicking, their drama becomes louder than their words. Think about this. Liars thrive on confusion. They know that if they can get everyone emotional, if they can get everyone distracted, they can buy more time for their lies to survive. That's why they start drama. They want the spotlight on everything except the truth. But here's where wisdom comes in. When you refuse to be distracted, when you stay calm, their drama becomes useless. You strip their performance of power because you're not playing along. And that's when their panic multiplies, because now they're exposed and they can't control the narrative anymore. Don't underestimate how far a liar will go to protect their lies. They'll exaggerate, they'll cry, they'll flip the story and make you look like the villain. They'll pretend they're the one being attacked. That's the oldest trick in the book. The guilty always try to wear the mask of the victim, but you cannot let that performance fool you. Look past the tears, look past the outrage, look past the noise, because the louder the drama, the clearer the guilt. Remember this, truth doesn't need a stage, but lies do. Truth stands quietly, truth waits. Truth doesn't demand attention, it earns it. Lies, on the other hand, crave the spotlight. They need the performance, because without the distraction, their weakness would be obvious. That's why you'll always see drama attached to deception. It's their only defense against exposure, and once you recognize it, you'll never fall for it again. When you stand in truth, you don't need to get tangled in their theatrics. You don't need to respond to every accusation. You don't need to fight on every battlefield they set up. Stay calm, stay focused. Let their drama run its course. Because the more they perform, the more they expose themselves, the world eventually realizes who's living in truth and who's hiding behind noise. And when that moment comes, their drama becomes their downfall. Sometimes, the best response to drama is no response at all. That silence terrifies the liar, because their performance only works when you give it energy. If you stop clapping, the show ends. If you stop reacting, their drama loses power. Stillness and calmness will always reveal the truth more clearly than shouting ever will. And when you let your peace speak for itself, their panic becomes obvious to everyone watching. But here's what you need to guard against. Drama is draining. It's designed to wear you out, to pull you into endless battles, to steal your focus from what truly matters. Don't let that happen. Don't waste your strength fighting people who already know they're guilty. Don't let their chaos become your prison. Protect your peace. Protect your focus. Don't let their performance pull you into a fight you never needed to join. And make no mistake, everyone can see the difference. People might be entertained by drama for a while, but eventually they grow tired of it. They begin to notice the patterns. They begin to see through the noise. They begin to realize that the one causing all the chaos is the one hiding from the truth. And when that realization comes, no amount of acting can save the liar. The drama that once distracted everyone becomes the evidence that convicts them. The drama that once distracted everyone becomes the evidence that convicts them. So when someone is panicking and putting on a show, don't get caught up in the performance. Don't let their noise shake your peace. Keep your focus on the truth. Because truth doesn't need a stage. It stands strong in silence. Truth doesn't need theatrics. It shines through consistency. Truth doesn't need to distract. It simply endures. And when all the dust settles, truth will be standing while drama fades away. The liar's drama is nothing more than fear in costume. It's guilt in disguise. It's panic pretending to be passion. And when you see it for what it is, you'll never be fooled again. Let them act, let them shout, let them scramble. Don't give their drama more energy than it deserves. Keep your eyes on the truth, stay steady, and watch how their own performance becomes the very thing that exposes them. Because in the end, their panic will speak louder than their lies. Their drama will reveal more than their excuses, and their noise will make their guilt impossible to hide. Don't be distracted. Don't be deceived. The truth is steady, The truth is quiet, and the truth will always outlast the drama. Let truth be your shield. There comes a point in life when you realize that the greatest defense you could ever have is not your words, not your fists, not your ability to argue. It is the truth. Lies demand constant protection. They need to be defended, covered, and reinforced with even more lies. But truth stands on its own. It doesn't need you to fight for it the way a liar fights for deception. Truth is your shield. It protects you, it defends you, and it will always speak louder than any attack that comes against you. When someone lies about you, your first instinct might be to fight back, to prove them wrong, to run around trying to fix every false word they've spoken. But here's the secret. You don't have to chase lies. You don't have to burn yourself out responding to every rumor. You don't have to panic because of what others say. Stand firm. Let truth be your shield. In time, truth will rise. In time, truth will reveal. And when that happens, the very lies they use to attack you will boomerang back on them. The liar panics because they have no shield. Their words are their only defense, and words built on lies cannot withstand the test of time. That's why they scramble. That's why they lash out. That's why they create drama and noise. But when you stand in truth, you don't need to panic. You don't need to scramble. Your shield is unshakable. The arrows of lies may fly, but they cannot pierce truth. And sooner or later, the liar's panic becomes evidence of their defeat. Think about the strength that comes from walking in truth. It allows you to stay calm when others accuse. It allows you to stand tall when others try to tear you down. It gives you peace even when you're surrounded by storms. Why? Because you know the truth will defend you. You don't have to swing wildly. You don't have to beg people to believe you. The truth has a way of shining through all the noise, and when it does, it clears your name without you having to lose your dignity. This is why stillness in truth is powerful. It shows you trust your shield. A soldier who trusts their shield doesn't panic when arrows come. They don't drop it and start running. They hold it steady, knowing it will protect them. That's how you must handle lies. Hold steady. Don't let panic make you drop the truth. Don't let noise pull you out of character. Trust the shield that never fails. Liars will always try to drag you into battles you don't need to fight. They'll tempt you to waste energy, to lose your peace, to step out of character. Don't fall for it. Every time you stand still, every time you let the truth shield you, you disarm their strategy. Their panic increases, their lies unravel, and their credibility collapses. You don't have to destroy them. Their own lies will do that work for you. Understand this. Truth doesn't just shield you, it exposes others. When you walk in truth, your peace highlights their panic. Your consistency magnifies their contradictions. Your calmness shines against their chaos. Without even speaking, your truth begins to reveal their lies. That's why they panic so much. They see that no matter how loud they shout, no matter how hard they fight, they can't shake someone who's anchored in truth. There's a quiet confidence that comes when you know truth is on your side. You don't have to convince everyone in the room. You don't have to beg for people to see it, because truth has a way of outlasting every attack. Time is truth's greatest ally. Lies crumble with time, but truth grows stronger. Lies need constant effort to survive, but truth endures without effort. That's why the liar panics, but the truthful person rests. One is exhausted trying to maintain deception. The other is shielded by the strength of honesty. And here's the lesson you must carry. Never drop your shield. Even when it feels like the lies are winning. Even when it looks like the noise is louder, hold on. Because truth will not fail you. It may not reveal itself immediately, but it will never stay hidden forever. Trust it, walk in it, stand behind it, Let it protect you while others exhaust themselves defending falsehood. As your When you let truth be your shield, you save yourself from unnecessary battles. You keep your dignity, you preserve your peace, and you prove to the world that you are stronger than panic, stronger than lies, stronger than the noise that surrounds you. The liar may win attention for a season, but you will win trust for a lifetime. Attention fades, but truth remains. Noise dies out, but peace endures. So don't let the liar's panic become your panic. Don't let their chaos infect your calm. Stand firm in truth. Hold it like a shield. Let it protect you while they destroy themselves trying to cover up lies. Because eventually the world will see the difference. They'll see who panicked and who stood tall. They'll see who scrambled and who stayed steady. They'll see who lived in deception and who lived in truth. And in that moment, your shield will speak louder than your words ever could. The truth will declare your victory. The liar's panic will declare their defeat. And everyone will know truth was your shield, and it never failed you.